I'm Dr. Sam Hazledine. It is an absolute privilege to be here with you for this Well Doctor series. I've dedicated my working life to advancing the health of medicine, to leaving our profession better than we found it, because I believe in who we are and I believe in what we do, and I also believe that we need to do better for each other and for ourselves, and I believe that we can. I graduated as a doctor back in 2003, and in 2006 I founded Medrecruit, which is now the largest medical staffing agency in Australasia, and this has given me incredible access to doctors, to thousands of doctors, to understand our struggles, to understand what helps us. And it led me later to found Medworld, to build an operating system to support people in healthcare, and the Medworld Institute, to conduct research in order to drive effective advocacy and to look for and find and to build solutions to the challenges that we're facing. I began researching Dr. Wellbeing and Dr. Burnout over a decade ago, and I was pretty shocked when I found way back then that 1 in 2 doctors were in burnout, and it got even worse when I tied that burnout to depersonalization, an emotional disconnection from our patients, and depersonalization leading to an increase in major medical errors. The way we were living and being as doctors was, through research, demonstrated that we were harming our patients. I used to call this medicine's dirty little secret because it was something I think we were aware of, but we didn't really talk about. But there's nothing secret about it now. I, as a result of this research, lobbied the World Medical Association to amend the modern day Hippocratic Oath, the Declaration of Geneva, to include the health and well-being of doctors. I thought that if you had the health and well-being of doctors in our value set, then everything would change. And I think that was a little naive. You know, it's not a secret anymore. I think what it helped to do is get it onto the agenda of every major medical organization. But the problem we face is that it isn't improving. Burnout is now at 2 in 3 doctors. In some specialties, in some grades, it's even worse. So while systemic change is absolutely needed, and I think it needs to start with staffing and the way we actually look after people in healthcare, what we're going to do here is tap into some great medical minds to help you create a roadmap within what is a really challenging system. Now, years ago, I did a program similar to this, not the same. I did it by myself. I interviewed doctors, I researched, I did my very, very best, and I got some good stuff, and I made what was an okay program, I thought, but this is so much better. This has turned out so much better than I could have imagined, because this is not about me delivering amazing information to you. This is about talking to some incredible doctors, tapping into our collective intelligence. It's focused on doctors. And it's so specific to you that it's surprised me just how good what some of these doctors have shared, how good it is for us as doctors. Honestly, I felt like Post Malone collaborating with the likes of Dolly Parton, of Tim McGraw, Hank Williams Jr. to make his album F1 Trillion. Now, if you like country music, you'll understand the reference. If you don't, it's a whole world that you're missing out on. Something for you to think about. Now, this program is structured with the first releases being the foundations of this Well Doctor series. The important stuff, the stuff that we build both our lives and our careers on. And then over time, I'll be adding to it as you request different things, as we come across different things that are of use to you. But to start with, we're going to focus on these foundations. We're going to focus on purpose with Dr. Dave Homewood, a really considered doctor who comes at it from multiple perspectives. We're going to focus on body with Dr. Ash Bowden, a a doctor who has dedicated his working life to understanding how movement and how looking after our bodies can improve, health and well-being. We're going to focus on mind with Dr. Angela Lim, who's actually created an organization to focus on this with the wider public. We're going to focus on burnout with Dr. Henry Kurtz, who has a clinic that focuses on burnout. We're going to also additionally hear from one of his psychologists, Kate Nelson, to get that psychological perspective to how we might think about burnout ourselves. We're going to focus on work-life balance with Dr. Gareth Andrews, a doctor who went to the North Pole and the South Pole whilst building a family and completing specialty training. He's got some good insights into how to manage those important areas of your life. We're going to talk about the art of medicine and winning on the wards, how you can actually hone your craft with Dr. Nina Sue. And we're going to talk about thriving as a medical student, and this one is also very relevant to any junior doctor, with Dr. Tom Petrie. The beauty I found with this series is that there is both crossover amongst the constituent parts and also very different and unique ways of approaching things. When we talk about burnout, we're talking about body and mind. When we're talking about the mind, we're also talking about the body. We're talking about work-life balance. We're talking everything interrelates. And so I think that while we have dedicated sections to focus on each of these areas, this interrelatedness, these different perspectives, will give you different perspectives that you can take and essentially build, your own unique plan. Take what resonates with you and build your own path, because there is no one solution for all of us as doctors. Now, I want to be really clear that we aren't in this Well Doctor series focusing on the systemic change that's required. Obviously, this is absolutely necessary. If you have 2 and 3 doctors in burnout, then we got a problem with the system. But that's not the scope of this, because we could get into all sorts of intellectual arguments and conversations that would be very interesting, but are they helpful to you right now? What we're going to focus on is what you can do yourself right now within a challenging system. We're going to talk about controlling the controllables, as Dr. Gareth Andrews talks about in his section on work-life balance. Before 1954, it was believed to be impossible for the human body to run a 4-minute mile. Doctors, in our ultimate wisdom, actually proclaimed that the human body wasn't capable of this feat, that the heart might explode. But on May 6, 1954, Dr. Roger Bannister, after completing ward rounds in the morning, ran the mile in 3 minutes and 59 seconds. Now, the interesting thing is that 46 days later, John Landy ran the mile in under 4 minutes. In the following year, 16 people achieved the same feat. Nowadays, high school kids are running the mile in under 4 minutes. It took one person, it took a doctor as it happens, to go first and to change the paradigm of what is possible. Because one person did it, others began to believe it was possible, and change happened. Now, the doctors you're going to hear from in the Well Doctor series have gone first. They've shown what's possible. And so now you get to do it for yourself in all the areas that matter. And you'll get to perhaps be that person that shows another one of our colleagues what's possible. Maybe I'll interview you in the Well Doctor series down the track. I hope I do. We're struggling as a profession, but we're also going to heal as a profession. So, in this Well Doctor series, let's do that for you. Let's take that step and let's leave our profession better than we found it.